I'm making a story, Glenn, so they can tune in now.
Great. Perfect. Let's
It's
do this.
YouTube and what's it's called? Amazon's podcast on YouTube.
Yep. There you
We're
go.
starting now. So tune in.
Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. I'm Glenn Young, owner of Amazon's fitness magazine. Celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to AmazonsFitMag.com. The podcast is brought to you by GPS Photography and Video. Why photography and video? Because a photo's worth 1,000 words, video's worth 1,000,000. GPSPhotoandVideo.com. And Amazon's Fitness Magazine is a publication of GPS Photography and Video. My guest, Amazon-sponsored athlete, two-time world champion, no stranger to the Rising Phoenix, the Rising Phoenix champion in her own right, Helle Trevino. How are you? Thanks for joining me on the podcast.
Hi, Glenn. I'm great. And hi to everybody out there who's watching. I'm excited to be here. We have a lot to talk about.
We do. We do. So, up front, let's talk about the Rising Phoenix. Just concluded last weekend. Give me your takeaways. You did not compete in the Rising Phoenix. Everyone would have loved to have seen you, and that would have just blown up the show even more. But give me your thoughts on the Rising Phoenix from last weekend.
It was really interesting this year. I mean, I was sitting here on the live pay-per-view and was following everything, and I mean, it's always interesting when there's athletes who can challenge the champion and even knock him out. So there was a shift there, and as everybody knows, who's been following along, it's Angela Yeo did beat Andrea. And that was interesting because we're now going into the Olympia. So, you know, I mean, everything can happen, really. Angie has really put on a lot of size, and she came ripped to the bone. I was very, very impressed with her conditioning. Right. That was not like half an ounce of fat on her anywhere.
She looked amazing. She looked amazing.
She looked amazing, the best I've seen her, and the win was so deserved. And I mean, there was a lot of really good athletes in the Rising Phoenix. The women really brought their A game.
It's an invitational, and glad to see everyone that was there. I like to look at it as a harbinger of things to come. It is a reflection of the Olympia that's going to be taking place here in 6 weeks from now. The narrative that I don't like, that everybody's been saying, and you've been hearing out there, is that Andrea Shaw was off, because I think that disrespects the champion and all the work that Angela Yeo did. Because now it's like, okay, Angela Yeo, champion of the Rising Phoenix, but there's an asterisk behind her, beside her name, because, well, Andrea Shaw was off, and I just don't buy that. So she's the champion. She beat the champion, and yeah, I mean, I'm just tired of hearing it. Andrea was off. She's off.
I mean, off. Yeah, what is off? You know, you can be off. You can be way off. And I mean, she was softer than Angie. Yeah. And Angie, she beat her on conditioning. She also has a really nice flow to her physique, good structure, good symmetry. So she just had the package that night. And it can totally shift. I mean, you know, I'm sure this has fired Andrea up. I saw the interview after. And, you know, don't be mistaken. She's going to go home, or she already went home and went to work, because she knows now. I mean, she might come even better than we ever seen her at the Olympia, because she knows that her title can be on the line. And I'm telling you from experience, when you once first have been a champion and you've been the best, I have been a Rising Phoenix winner twice.
Yes.
It's not fun to lose that title.
No.
It's not fun, and it gives you even more motivation. So that brings me to why I wasn't competing at the Rising Phoenix. I want to focus on Olympia. Right. It's not like I wouldn't want to re-win the Rising Phoenix, right. But when I competed at the Rising Phoenix and I won it twice, that was no Olympia. That was the Olympia.
Right, because there was no Olympia.
The title that I still haven't won is the Olympia, and I'm like, I want that title. It's like pure and simple. I want that title. I wanted to win the Olympia for several years. Before it got shut down in 2015, I was already competing before 2015 and was trying to get there. But that was when I was starting up and more in my rookie years, and I was developing as an athlete. And then when I was, like, you could say, ready and matured, the Olympia was out. And that's when I won the Rising Phoenix.
Right.
And then I've had some years with unfortunate injuries, surgeries, stuff like that. So that's why I decided last year to take the year off, really to come back better, heal my injuries. I worked really, really hard. I hired a mobility expert. I worked a lot on my mobility. I get treatments twice a week. I've had more treatment than I ever had in my life to really make sure that everything is right. I went to have a $40,000 stem cell treatment in January. Yes. So I've done everything for my health, for my body, for everything to be optimized. And then I've trained my ass off all year. Yes. So I'm excited myself to see what I'm going to bring on stage at the Olympia, because I don't even know, because I haven't competed for almost 2 years now. Right. So to see, I can just say I look different. My physique has developed differently. I've developed it differently. I've trained now with Gina Caballero. You know her? Also, I heard her. She's been my trainer now for some years. So we started already for my last Olympia in 22 in Dubai, and we've continued. And she's an amazing trainer, an amazing friend. She said to me, if you're gonna do this Olympia, if you want to do it, I'll be there, and I'll move from Dubai. So in March, she moved from Dubai. So we've had March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months now together, training every day. She's been kicking my ass for 6 months, and it's paid off. And I'm excited. I'm super, super, super stoked. I think you guys could hear it, but I'm excited to see what I'm going to bring. I just want to be, after some years not having been my best and not having my best body, also physically, I want to be on that stage and be my best. That's my goal. And then we will see how far it brings me. Hopefully something really good, but we will see.
Yeah. Before we transition to the question that everybody wants to know, again, Angela Yo beat the champion. She's the Rising Phoenix champion. We got 6 weeks to the Olympia. It's going to be really exciting how this all comes down. And when people say, well, Andrea Shaw wasn't at her best or she was off, it disrespects Angela Yo and everything that she did to say that. The takeaway from that, I would say, is when has Andrea Shaw ever been 100% in the Rising Phoenix?
Never. She's always best at the Olympia, I think she times it for the Olympia.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then she comes just a little softer for the Rising. And I mean, with her shapes and her symmetry and everything, it's been flying,
Right.
but just Angela Yo was just better on that day. But in bodybuilding, everything can change over a weekend.
Exactly. And when you're talking 6 weeks, as well last week 7, if you throw out peak week, call it 6 weeks.
7 weeks is a long time, man. I mean, you've seen athletes come into one show one weekend and not place that well at all. And then the next weekend, they win.
Exactly. So let's move on. It is what it is.
It's a lot that goes into preparation. It's also like the peak week, the carb up. Something can go slightly wrong. You carb up a little too much. You spill a little. Everything can be corrected, like over a few weeks even.
Yeah. So, it's going to be exciting. And of course, Ashley Jones, I love what Ashley did. And people try to say she was amazing. She didn't look as good as she did in New York. I'm like, okay, wait and see. Let's see.
I heard she was sick. She had some fever. She wasn't feeling well. But it's also 7 weeks is a long time. You can do a lot in 7 weeks. So I'm excited to see her on stage. I'm excited to see Alcione. She's here in Brazil. I was actually gonna train with her, but it kind of like we didn't get it in before I'm traveling. But she looks really, really, really good. I've been following her story a bit and everything. She looks on point. So she also decided she actually got the invite for the Rising, but decided not to do it to focus on Olympia. So let's see what she brings. I'm excited to see her as well. She also put on a good size, and she's definitely shredded. So,
and Sherry
she was third last year, so we got a strong Olympia this year.
Oh, we definitely do. And Sherry Priami looked amazing as well, coming in at 4th. Still 4th in the world, but hey, that gonna change too. Definitely could change. I think this Olympia is wide open, and I think it's to the point where everybody's uploaded updated their level. Everybody stepped it up. Competition brings out the best in people, and you're starting to see it. And this class this year, from 2023 to 2024, it's a monster lineup.
It's going to be the best Olympia in years.
Oh yeah, 60 years for sure. And then you're going to add Teresa Avancic. Right, you're gonna add Helle Trevino. You're gonna add Christina Mendoza, and let's go. And not to mention 3 more shows left. So, Helle, here's the question, and put out by a female bodybuilding channel. Helle Trevino changes coaches. Helle, it's 6 weeks out from the Olympia. Call it 5 if you throw out the peak week. Why in the world would Helle Trevino change coaches this so close to the Olympia? So that's the way it came out. That's the way it came out, right? But now let's correct the story.
It's not entirely the truth, Right. I actually changed 8 weeks ago. Right. So it's not that big of a scoop. I mean, I had one coach for the off season, and I had one coach for the prep. I talked to Stefan Kienzl, Boss of Outlaw, as he's known as on Instagram, already last year, I think November, and then David Demasquita is my good friend, and he's a really, really great coach. We started already in January, I think, just for a productive off season. So I really love to work with David, but the plan was to work with David on the off season, pack on a lot of size, and I wanted Stefan for the prep. So yeah, we've been working for 8 weeks now.
And that's it, And
that's it.
No big stories. And he is well known. I think we were talking earlier, 15 athletes in the Olympia. He also coaches 3 bodybuilders now, women's bodybuilders that's going to be on the stage at Olympia. Sherry Priami, and Julia Wetzel. So pretty impressive. And then, of course, he coaches William Bonac, Nathan Diasher, Muhammad Fada, and then the list goes on and on. So
yeah, he's got very good athletes. So
I mean,
that's why obviously my choice went on him.
Right.
I interviewed a few coaches, and his rap sheet is impressive of the athletes he's producing and the results. And I like to be shredded, and his athletes are shredded. So I'm like, let's go.
And hey, what was the last words that Andrea Shaw said in the interview? She was so gracious to do the interview. I'm coming in shredded. So hey, for everyone that loves shredded female muscle, as always with the femininity, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be next level. And it's been building the whole season with all of the shows. There's just a separation this year, I think. When you look back at how everybody was talking about, well, there's no point system. There's not as many shows. The prize money could be better. In the end, I think it brought out the best in all of the competitors. And competition does bring out the best in them and sometimes brings out the worst in competitors. But I think we got it right in the end because this thing is stacked. You talk about, everybody likes to use the term stacked class. This is a Hall of Fame class to me to see this because, who knows who could win it? And like you said, 6 weeks from now, every show is different. You can't take what you saw at the Rising Phoenix, the Tampa, the Atlanta, the Chicago, none of those shows because this is the Olympia. And every show is different. And this is the best of the best in the world. And couldn't get any better than this. How do you feel going into it?
With bodybuilding, like things can really change because it's like who brings the full package, like
it
like
really
I said,
is.
You can either improve or remain the same or get worse. And it's all about, sometimes it's also like, yeah, you have to work hard. You have to work your freaking ass off. But you also have to have a little bit of luck because do you get sick? Do you get injured? You can get a virus, corona, whatever, a cold.
Food poisoning. Everybody's flying in from all over the world. Yeah.
I have seen it all. Like now I'm also a coach and with athletes I work with, like I've seen it all. I've seen food poisoning. I've seen coming in last minute with a flight, having a lot of water retention, the flu, the cold, like, the chicken pox, I've seen it all.
Right.
So everything can happen, but we got to work our asses off and just hope for a little bit of luck as well.
At this point, I mean, as much as we have looked at the athletes, I look more so now at the coaches. Andrew Vu with Teresa Vancic and Ashley Jones. Your coach, as I said, Stefan Kinzel, Sherry Priami, Julia Wetzel, Helle Trevino. I mean, who's going to fine tune that machine at the end? That who's gonna bring in that peak week? Because right now, and John Simmons with Andrea Shaw, everybody's in their war room. They got that whiteboard up and they're drawing it out and they're looking at everything backwards, planning from the Olympia all the way back up to now 28, 29 August. What do you think is going through their heads? Is there anything that you can share that your coach has said to you after the Rising Phoenix?
I think everybody's just focused on themselves, you know, like, I mean, yeah, of course, you look a little bit on the competition, but really, when you're a professional athlete, what's the most important thing is that you keep your head cold and you focus on you, you know? I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Right.
And honestly, that's also what my coach told me to do. He was
Right.
like, you know, keep your head cold, just focus on you and just stay in the right mindset. You know, like you can't afford to get yourself freaked out about how the others look or what the placing will be, or you know, your own conditioning. Will I be there? Will everything go right? Because you know,
Right.
we all have fears and we all
Yeah.
have experiences. You know, I have had times where I was like shredded to the bone, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I know a lot of athletes, they blame the coach sometimes when it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's really their fault. But I actually have had competitions where I looked amazing before the show, and the peak
Mm-hmm.
just went like totally fucked up, you know. And you work all year, you diet so hard, maybe for 5, 6, 7 months, and to have
Mm-hmm.
everything fucked up in 3 days, and that can sometimes give some anxiety that you're like, oh, am I gonna
Right.
hit it right? You got to have a lot of faith in your coach. You got to really believe, because you're not making the shots, he is.
Right.
So you really have to have a coach that you believe in and you trust in, and you're sure he's going to bring you where you need to be. And for me, I can only say I feel I'm in a good place because I trust Stefan 100%, and I have my faith in him, so I can be
Right.
calm. I don't question what he does, or should we take the carbs down? Should we do more cardio? Or should we do this?
Right.
Should we do that? I'm just like, I let Stefan do his thing, and I trust that he's gonna do the right call. He's gonna make the right decision. And yeah, so just, you know, I think everybody's just in their own corner and focusing on theirs, and bringing their best, and that's how it should be. That's how it should be. You know, don't, you know, my advice to any athletes, you know, watching out there, don't focus on the others. Don't look on Instagram. Don't compare yourself, because you
Mm-hmm.
know, we all take the pictures in the best light, or in the best angle of the best
Mm-hmm.
muscle group, and put on Instagram. Like, we don't put up our flaws. You know, if you have
Yeah.
bad calves or something, you're not going to post your calves. If your legs are soft, you're going to post like an upper body shot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, forget it. Everybody look good in the gym, but how are you going to look on stage?
Right. Hello. Yeah, and we talked about this before a few months back. It's been 2 years since you've been on stage.
Yep.
Everybody's been waiting on the wildly veteran. Helle Trevino is back. Helle Trevino is back. You had the benefit of literally watching the entire season, and now it's your time. First time stepping on stage, not at the Rising Phoenix, but the first time you'll step on stage this year will be the Olympia stage. What anxiety do you have, if any?
I'm probably gonna have a little butterflies.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm really just trying to keep my head cool, you know,
Right.
because of course I want to win. There's nobody who steps on the Olympia stage not wanting to win that show, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about: qualifying and getting there and paying your dues and working up your ranks, and you know. And I've been in the sport for a long time, and I really would like to win, and I'm going to do everything I can to do it. And we will see on
This is going to
October
be a good
11th
fight.
if
This is going to be a
if
great
I
fight.
have what it takes. But you know, I can
Yeah.
only work, and I'm working as hard as I can, and we will
Right.
see.
Appreciate you for coming on. I'm gonna leave it with this. Uh, I think the numbers are at 12 ladies qualified. 3 shows remaining with Anaheim, Spain on the 1st of September, the UK on the 14th and 15th of September. Anaheim is on the 21st of September. So we probably realistic could add 3 more, it'd be 15 on stage. 15 of the best in the world. 2 call outs, you got to figure. What goes through your mind looking at this? Because you've had the benefit, as I said, of watching all of this. Is there anyone out there of these 3 shows remaining that you would say, okay, look for this person, look for that person? Because once you got your qualification, everybody relaxes and like, hey, I'm just going to focus on me. But you got to wonder, if this was a battle royal, who's going to come out that curtain coming down the stage with 3 shows left? Do you even think about that at all?
Of course, because, I'm also a coach and I actually have 2 girls in Alina Pupa Pro this weekend. So I have Jay,
women bodybuilding.
Yep, I have Jay Fuchs and I have Irene Anderson in women's bodybuilding this weekend at the Alina Pupa. So I mean, I hope one of them qualifies. I just prepare them as good as I can, and it's crazy that 2 from the same team are going up each other. But that's the same with me and Priami. We also from the same team going up against each other.
And Wetzel, yeah, exactly.
And Wetzel, yeah, also right. So they're gonna have to battle it out, Irene and Jay. And I just hope that it's one of my girls that qualify.
And when you look at it from a coach's perspective, and and Stefan, and of course Andrew Liu and the others that have multiple athletes competing on the Olympia stage, it comes down to a thing of equal time. Obviously, one of your athletes is going to qualify, I feel, at the Alina Pupa Classic. Now you're coach versus competitor versus going against the competitor that you coach. Will that be tough to manage?
So here's the deal. We work in a coach team. So I'm part of Team for Pro coaching.
Right. And y'all are in business together as well. Yeah.
Yep. We're all in business together. So it's me, Irene Anderson again, and Gina Caballero. It's us 3 women. We run the business. So the only one not competing right now is Gina. So Gina is going to be the one managing the Olympia athletes. I already qualified 1 athlete in women's physique, Sandra Knesevich. We're going to meet with her actually next week and train with her as well up to the Olympia. So Gina is preparing Sandra now. She took her over for me because, I can't be on the Olympia stage and prep somebody on the Olympia stage.
Right.
So what's the benefit with our team is like you basically have 3 coaches. So we are all in on everything. So so if Irene or Jay qualifies, Gina will be the one to take over and get them ready.
That's a great
plan. There won't be any.
Yeah.
There won't be any discrepancies there.
Exactly. Exactly. Because
let me send that pizza over to Irene's room.
There you go.
No, we don't do that. And we are best of friends.
Right. And professionals as well. And so if anything, you got to look at this too. It's a great marketing scheme as well for your business, with both all y'all being on the Olympia stage and Gina coaching. So you got to maximize that as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're doing really well. I mean, Team for Pro. I mean, we're doing well with the athletes. We got a lot of win this year. We have Olympia athletes on stage. So I'm really happy the way it's going. More and more women choose to work with female coaches because we're females. We just know more about. We know more about preparing a female for competition.
Yep. Great point.
So we're living it. We're living it.
Yeah, exactly. Living it and doing it. And so that's great. So can you talk about your timeline? When will you be arriving in the States and headed down to Vegas to get to it?
Well, I want to be early in the States. So I will actually leave Brazil already on Monday.
Okay.
And I'll have a good 6 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks in the States. And I'll be in Vegas on October 1st. So I like to be early, jet lag, time difference.
12 days, 12 days prior,
Yeah.
Soak up the sun
Exactly.
and get after it.
Exactly.
Well, really appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna try to talk to as many Olympians competing from now until showtime. And I know your time is tight, so I really appreciate you coming on and looking forward to you to seeing you on stage. Everybody's waiting on Helle.
You're very welcome. Well, I'm I'm waiting too. It's like working with a new coach, having had 2 years off. Like I'm really excited to see what kind of package I'm gonna bring because in bodybuilding everything is a process. So the process is not ready yet. I still have 6 weeks on Friday to get there, but it's looking really good. Stefan is happy, I'm happy, so
it's gonna be amazing.
Let's see.
It's gonna be amazing. Appreciate you, Helle. Thanks again.
I appreciate you too, and thank you for inviting me on, and thank you
for coming on.
All the fans watching out there and supporting.
Go ahead and leave a message for your fans.
I just want to say thank you for your support. I've gotten so many DMs, especially on Instagram, just how excited you guys are that I'm making a return to the stage. And I hope y'all tune in on either the pay-per-view Olympia webcast or come out to the Olympia and meet us athletes live and see the show live.
Take care, Helle. Thanks again for coming on. Appreciate you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Talk soon.
Bye.
There you have it, Helle Trevino. She's actually had her new coach 8 weeks ago. So that's the underlying truth from that. So no big news there, which was thought that she had just changed at 6 weeks out. She looks amazing. She showed very few progress clips where everybody's trying to sneak and see, but it's her time. This is going to be an amazing Olympia, and everybody's been waiting on Helle, and you're about to see her on the Olympia stage. This weekend, I'm headed down to Orlando, where I'll be doing actually shooting for the November and January issue of Amazon's Fitness Magazine. So if you wish to book, please do so. Thanks again to all the subscribers and those to both the website and, of course, the YouTube channel. Continue to celebrate the female physique. When you do more, I can do more. And I will see you guys in Orlando this weekend. And, of course, podcast updates throughout, so stay tuned. Talk to you guys soon. And, stay in touch. Keep subscribing and keep following.